Hello, World Wide Web. Let's talk rock and roll. I'm with the one and only Billy Corgan. Billy, thank you so much for having a seat with me and chatting for a second. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm between sweating and dying.
So
it's hot today.
You are just doing the sound check, but you still doing the meet and greets with your fans and stuff. I mean, how long have you been playing music now?
I started when I was 14, so we're almost at 30 years of playing music.
Still important for you to go out and meet the fans? Is that kind of a nuisance for you, or do you still enjoy doing that stuff?
No, I hate doing it.
But it's a necessary evil?
No. You know, actually, I'll say this much about it. I actually do like meeting people, but I hate meeting them in a situation that I don't have enough time to talk to them. Mm-hmm. You know, we're very busy right now, but what I most appreciate is when I actually get a chance to talk to them and not just talk about their relationship to my band's music, for better or worse, but also what they're listening to, what they're interested in,
right,
what they're responding to, because I think fans have a great perspective that you don't get in the media about how they get their music and how they relate to their artists, and what turns them on and also what turns them off from listening. I mean, I've had some pretty intense conversations with fans over the years about what they do and don't like about what I do and what the band does. And it sort of helps in some ways reinforce the effectiveness of what I do, and also sometimes points out I'm not communicating in the way that I would like to. So I find it really valuable.
With all the multimedia that's going on now, with all the Facebooks, the MySpaces, the Twitters, and all that stuff, are you active with that kind of stuff? Do you stay in touch with the fans via those veins?
No, because I think those systems tend to reward negative voices. And if you just go on and read your responses on a fan website, or even sometimes when we used to have our own, we'd put up our own stuff and sort of look at fan comments, they don't tend to be an accurate reflection of the world at large. Mm-hmm. Most people are very busy. Probably busier now than ever, and so people who sit on the internet a lot tend to look at internet culture as their social culture, and they tend to expect you to sort of live in that rule, right. and that's most people don't live in that world. They have kids, they have jobs, they have responsibility, they're going to school, and their perspective with music is a little bit less intense and a little bit more generally minded. Mm-hmm. And I don't think you can survive in the music business as long as I have if you think that the intense voices on the internet or the intense part of your fan base are actually a true reflection of who's actually out there listening.
Did you think that you would still be playing music all these years? Did you think that Smashing Pumpkins would be still an entity after all these years?
Smashing Pumpkins in the beginning, I thought, would have lasted a really long time. I was actually quite surprised that we fell apart when we did. Looking back now, I understand it, but I thought we had an opportunity there to go on for a very long time, because we had established something that is really difficult to establish in the music business, which is that you're able to play different styles of music and change and grow and adapt to a changing world, including your own inner changing world. Since we'd already proven that we were successful at that, I mean, that's the greatest mandate you could have as a musical artist. I mean, very few bands in the history of rock and roll have actually gotten away with that. Right. And since we'd gotten away with it to a certain extent, I thought we had a great future. It doesn't surprise me that people are still interested in old Smashing Pumpkins. The greater argument now is trying to prove that new Smashing Pumpkins has actually as bright or brighter a future as the old Smashing Pumpkins, and that seems to be the challenge right now. As far as me personally, I'm a lifer with music. Only thing I'll ever see changing it with me in regards to music is whether or not I want as much of a public life, and I think that's the real challenge.
I'm sure that you could have easily just sat back and worked behind a board somewhere, just wrote songs for other people. What brings you back? What makes you want to be on stage? What makes you want to write more music?
I think everybody in life is given a unique gift, and for whatever reason, I've always had the ability to get people to pay attention to me, whether positively or negatively. And that's in many ways that's a very rare gift, and I've had to try to understand as my own relationship has changed with that gift, what that really means. If you'd asked me what my dream in the world would be, it would be that I would be able to affect a positive change in the world, and that's probably the greatest dream that I have. And so my ability to be a public person, whether it's a musician or just somebody with a big mouth, I've been able to affect some level of change. It doesn't always work for me personally, but I think publicly I've been able to represent a lot through my gift of being a polemic figure.
We welcome and we begin with Billy Corgan, and we're delighted to have you begin your testimony. All witnesses' testimony will be entered fully into the record, and we welcome you here and thank you for your patience.
Thank you. I'd like to thank you, Chairman Conyers and the committee, for this opportunity to appear before you today about the Performance Rights Act. I'm here as a representative of the Music First Coalition to give voice to fellow artists and musicians who have joined together to assert their right to be compensated for the airing of their musical performances on terrestrial radio.
I have great passion for music. It's the greatest communication that I have at my beck and call, and it's the one that seems to irritate people the least in my forms of communication. So as of right now, we'll stick with that. Although I think I'm a pretty good writer, so maybe ultimately it'll just be you'll be able to pick up a book and turn me off when you want.
So with the impending tour, actually, are on tour now. Does it feel really good to be up on stage and in front of all these people again?
I don't know. I'm in an interesting place in my life. I'm really honestly just playing music for myself in many ways. I'm really enjoying playing with Nicole, Jeff, and Mike. I'm really having a renaissance in my musical life where I'm enjoying being in a band. I'm enjoying playing my songs. As far as my relationship with the audience goes, it's really hard to say because I have a very strong personal opinion, and it doesn't match most people's opinion. I have a general perspective that American culture over the last 20 years has been diluted and degraded by so much negative information that people have a hard time even understanding what positive information even is anymore. They think they know what positive information is, which these days is akin to a band doing exactly what they want them to do. Yeah. So I'm in an interesting position in that I'm only able really to play in a place where I feel very strong about what I do, and then in essence, in my mind, share that. I enjoy playing, but I guess what I'm trying to say in a long-winded way is that the type of concert that I think should be there isn't there. And so on some level, I'm sort of trying to find something that meets in the middle so everybody can be a little happier than maybe they would have been in the past. But it doesn't relate to me even in many ways as a concert anymore, because the concerts I grew up on, you were there to see the band play. Mm-hmm. And you wanted to see what the band was going to do, and you wanted to see something very special happen that night. And musical concerts really, at this time in our culture, really aren't that at this time.
Yeah, everything seems to be a festival of some sort, and there's a lot of purchasing and buying and ads and sponsored by Ford Festiva or whatever the case may be. I'm kind of the same way. When I want to go to a show, I want to connect with the people on stage. I want to feel something. If I just wanted to hear the music, I can listen to the CD at home, but I'm there to see something and connect with that artist in some way.
Well, we should thank, even though it can be a complicated bargain at times, we should thank a lot of those corporate sponsors, because in many ways that's the only way people can play at this point. We've done tours in the last 4 years where we lose money. And we just straight out lose money to play in front of people. We're literally paying to play, right? Because the economics aren't there. We can't ask people for any more than they're already paying, and the ticket prices are already too high. So it's a very difficult time. You're in the minority of people who really want to go and experience what the band has to offer. I'm hoping it's a temporary measure in time, but I really don't think so. I think we've gone into permanent pop. And so I think the artist relationship as a musical artist to the audience is going to change, and a musical concert is basically, in many ways, a living TV show, an edited, packaged, here it is, don't let me waste too much of your time because I know you got other stuff to do. Mm-hmm. And I mean, if you ask me right now what the tolerance of a common audience is for music, I'd say it's about 75 minutes. which is pretty rare considering I used to play concerts that were 3 hours and 15 minutes long.
Yeah, so 75 minutes is you're being quite generous. Actually, I would think.
Well, I have a lot of good songs, so they give me a little more time.
Yeah, some people their attention span's like 4 seconds. It seems
Yeah.
like. Well, I'm looking forward to the show, man. I'm glad to have
too.
you back
Thank
in
you.
Austin, Texas. Congratulations on the new music. The single's awesome. I can't wait to hear the new record. And Smashing Pumpkins coming to a town near you. So go see the show so they can make it next time.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Billy.